You asked for it, so here is a list of my 6 graphics mods that I use in my cities, here in the Let's Play and in the live stream as well. But before we get into any of this, if you enjoy my videos, don't forget to leave a like and maybe consider subscribing to see more content like this and how I built this city that you are seeing right now. And without any more delays, let's get into it. The first mod we use is actually Render It. And if you open that up, you see that you can create some profiles and save different profiles between different cities that you have, and you can easily open that up. In the options, what I usually do, I just change the intensity of the sun and the shadow strength so it looks a little bit more realistic. And in the advanced option, here are all the settings that I'm applying to the current game, so you can use that as a baseline for what I use, and then you start tweaking and seeing if there is anything that you want a little bit more or a little bit less. One thing that I usually change is how sharp I make things. So this is the setting that I'm using, and I also use high precision, so we have better textures, which helps making things look a little bit more realistic as well. The second mod that actually helps quite a lot is Repaint, and what Repaint does is actually changing the color of your roads. So as you can see in the background, if I change this, all the colors for that specific road will change. I can apply that to all networks of this type or to all elevations, and with just one click I can do that. I can also copy and paste and make it a very seamless job and quite easy to change the colors of all the roads in the city. Next in the list is Relight, and Relight actually help you change how your color work. So you have some presets as well. You might like the best so far, and I don't know, for Damascus I use this one actually. This setting has a little more vibrancy and more shadows, so I really like that. But what you can do in here, and you can see my settings in there and use that as a baseline for your own city. The brightness I don't change, I change gamma, contrast, and especially the lighting settings, specifically temperature and tints. And that's what I use to make the city look like it does at the moment. Next one that I use, especially for recording videos, I think that helps quite a lot, is Ultimate Level of Detail. This helps out with the distance where we show detailed buildings or trees and things like that. You might have noticed that when you zoom out, things start to disappear, like road markings, and trees will change for a very low detailed version. And this is where you can set it up and you can see things into more detail further away. Then we have the Mixer, which actually help you using your own themes in here. What I do, I use SCT Homecoming as a select theme, and then I go and tweak this myself. So for example, the terrain, those are my settings. The water, I didn't change the settings from the theme on the water, but you can do that as well. Structures, you can change how that all look like. And here is where I actually tweak a little bit more. For example, the longitude and latitude of the sun size, the anisotropy of the sun, exposure, things like that. And you can also change the weather if you are playing with the weather conditions enabled. And this is the color correction or LUT that I use for my city as well. You can also save mixes for this, so I have a few in here that I use, for example, for my string, which has a little bit more of green. Obviously, I use that in conjunction with other settings for Relight, for example, so it never looks the same like just by itself. You have to go around and try to make a best combination between these mods as much as you can. The final mod that I use to make things look a little bit better is dynamic resolution. So unfortunately I can't move the screen from the top left in here, but what it does, it actually boosts your resolution or the resolution of the game internally. So if you are going for like HD, you can push that to 4K, for example, and you can still see how many frames you have. Obviously, as you move things around and you look into like further away place, your frames will also drop. So that is like, especially for recording and when you're looking like upside down, the frames will go quite a lot up there, and that helps you a lot more. But this is something that I use for recording. This makes the city looks a lot better. Just keep in mind that all of these mods that I use, they take quite a heavy toll on your graphics cards and your processor, so, and memory as well. It consumes quite a lot. So if you don't have a very good computer, maybe try just one or another, especially dynamic resolution. This is one of the biggest ones that will impact the game the most. But there you are, all my 6 mods, my graphics mods that I use in the game, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have questions about that, or how I use it, or what's the combinations that I do, you've seen all my settings in the video, so use that as a baseline and start changing things here and there, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to make something very similar to what I do. Thank you a lot, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!